Scoop it up. Sarah Beth will be attempting to take 6 golf balls from one bowl to the next using only a spoon in her mouth, no hands. Go, Sarah Beth. Incredible, Sarah Beth. Way to go. Hey, quick little story around the resurrection from Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 7-ish. Here we go.
When the ladies went to the tomb, they found an angel and said that Jesus has risen from the dead and is alive.
He's alive!
That's right. He's alive. How about that? Hey, and here's the thing. It's going to be a while yet before Jesus goes up to heaven after the actual resurrection. He's going to hang out for a while. But here's a few thoughts that Reese had that I want to share with you.
I wish we had a brain tester in heaven so we could see what he's been thinking about the whole time.
Wait, a brain tester? First of all, that's really relevant here, though, because Reese wishes he had a brain tester so that we could know what Jesus is thinking. That's really key here because we're going to talk a little bit about Jesus' thought process. And then there's also this.
There's Easter bunny eggs up in there.
The man wishes there were some Easter eggs up in there. There you go. So now, look. I don't know if there's Easter eggs up in there, but we got them down here. Check it out. Yep, hiding Easter eggs. I want to talk about hiding disciples for just a second because after Jesus is arrested, they all scatter. When he's crucified and buried, there's not a disciple to be found around. They are all in hiding. And they're hiding because they're scared, like we would be. They're actually fearing for their lives. But, you and I still know plenty about hiding, right? We hide for all kinds of different reasons. But it may be feelings that we have that we let someone down, or it could be just insecure things. We hide a lot because we may feel shame or embarrassment or about things we've done. We may try to hide those things. Think about Peter specifically because there's no question that he was hiding in shame and regret. He had just the Thursday before denied Jesus 3 times, cursed that he even knew him, and said he had nothing to do with Jesus. So Peter, of all of them, had to feel absolutely crushed. And so that's where I want you to hear the last little part of this verse where the angel is in the tomb and said, hey, look around, he's not here, and then says this.
And then they went to go tell the disciples.
There it is. That's the line I love. Addie said, the angel said, go tell his disciples. And then the next part of that line is, and Peter. In other words, go tell his disciples and make sure you tell Peter as well. Why? Because Peter's a disciple, but Jesus is saying, make sure that Peter's got it. And why is that important? Because Peter had just denied him on Thursday, a few days ago, 3 times. He had said he didn't know Jesus, had no part of him. And so Jesus knows that Peter's crushed, that Peter probably doesn't count himself in the number of people that Jesus wants to see right now. Peter may think he's written off, but Peter is for sure ashamed, embarrassed, and devastated. And so Jesus, this is where the brain tester Reese was talking about comes in. We don't have a brain tester, but we can know a little bit about what Jesus is thinking here because he says, make sure Peter knows. What Jesus is thinking is he cares about Peter. He loves him. He doesn't care that he messed up. He doesn't have an exhaustive amount of second chances. He said, make sure Peter knows that I want to meet up with him, that I love him, that I care about him, that he's forgiven, that I need him to be a part of this thing. So whatever you and I have done, whatever puts us in a place of hiding today, for heaven's sake, from the spirit of Easter egg hiding, and more importantly, in the spirit of this resurrection story, let's remember that Jesus fills you in your name. It says, be sure and go tell Ralph. Be sure that Olivia knows. Make sure that Zico's got it, that Elijah hears this, that Molly does. Tell Abby. Fill in the blank with your name. Jesus says, make sure they know. There's no need to hide that I'm here. And like Holden says, I'm sure Peter wanted to do this.
I wish we could give Jesus a hug right now.
That sounds pretty good about right now for us too, right? So do that, and we'll talk to y'all later.